The ESL strategy that I'm going to present to you today is Think, Pair, Share. Now this is a cooperative learning strategy that deepens the level of thinking of your students. It also helps promote participation from the entire class instead of maybe just like a single student. And it's really good to help them process their ideas and the information that was presented to them. And it can be used for maybe concept reviews, discussion questions, partner reading, brainstorming, quiz reviews, and topic development. And it's a really good strategy to help them ease them into difficult or complex questions. Now there's 3 steps to this strategy. The first step is think. They're going to be given a question, and then the students are going to be required to think about it for a few minutes and what the answer is. Then the second step is pair. The students are going to get grouped up into their pairs, and with their partner they're going to discuss what they believe the answer is. And then share, the class is going to get all back together and share their ideas and their answers and then discuss what the real answer is. Now this can be a really good assessment tool as well. All the teacher has to do is, while they're in their pairs, just walk around and see what each student is saying, and then the teacher can assess them this way too. And it really can be used for pretty much any grade. There's really no limit. I've seen it in my observation hours from kindergarten, 2nd grade, and it can be used 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on. In the content area, it can be used for any content area. Math, reading, science, writing, and it can be used during, before, or after. There's no limit to that either. And there's materials and resources. All you really need is the students and their ideas. I mean, you can use technology to present the question and show them visuals of that nature. And I mean, if you really wanted to give them a material, you can print out a little worksheet, and it says, prompt or question what I thought, what my partner thought, and what we will share. And this is a good worksheet to use just so that they can fill it out and you can see what each student thinks and if they're on the right track and actually doing the strategy properly. And from my research, I found it to be really good for English language learners. It helps them to practice their English, and the English language learners are able to communicate their thoughts and ideas in a small group without having any criticism from the rest of the class. I mean, that can be really negative to the English language learner if they're being criticized because they can't really express themselves. So small groups are very important. And then in the small group, they're able to work out with the meaning with their partners and maybe even possibly correct what they may have thought the answer to that question was. And so then their ideas will be reinforced, and they will have practice before they actually share it to the class of what they're going to say. So it's just a really good tool to help the English language learners to practice their English. And the level of oral proficiency can be pretty much for any. There's really no limit to that either. The pre-production and early production stages, the students might have a little difficulty expressing their ideas, so the teacher might be able to come over and help the students talk and share their ideas. Otherwise, from emergent to the transition stage, they should have no problem with this strategy. Otherwise, I think it should pretty much be good for any of the levels. Now, I'm going to present to you a little demonstration. This would be for probably about 2nd grade math, and I wrote a question. Can an object that is smaller in size weigh more than an object that is bigger in size? And then I drew them a picture. Visuals are always really good. I have an object over here that's small and an object that over here is that bigger. And obviously, by this scale, the small object weighs more than the bigger object. So then the students are going to be required to think about that question for a little bit. You give them a few minutes, and then you break them off into pairs. Make sure you don't pair 2 English language learners with each other, because that is not a good idea. They need to be with someone who is fluent in English. Then after they talk with their partner and express what they believe, then the students are going to get back together as a class and share their answers. Now maybe they enhance this a little bit more. After they're done sharing what they believe the answer is, you can bring in 2 different objects. And I would bring in my little beach ball and my baseball. And then the students can see that the beach ball is bigger than the baseball. And then you'd pass it around, and then the students get to feel and see that, wow, the beach ball weighs less than the baseball, yet the beach ball is bigger than the baseball. So yes, a smaller object can weigh more than an object that is bigger. And so it just gives the students the ability to see and feel and help them understand the question instead of just talking to each other with about the answer. And I believe it's just really helpful. And so I believe the Think, Pair, Share strategy is just a really good tool because it helps the English language learners practice their English, and it also is a very good tool just for the regular students as well. So that's my strategy, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.